You know, well, first of all, I want to say greetings to all the YouTube participants, YouTube creators, YouTube viewers, everybody out there. Hope everyone's doing well, wherever you are and whatever time you're watching and listening to this video. I just want to say, because, I have my channel has different types of content that I like to talk about. And one of the things I want to talk about right now is concerning the government shutdown. It's not a complete shutdown. They call it a partial shutdown. But it's been 22 days since the government, the U.S. President of the United States and the President of the United States and Congress have been fighting along the issues of building the wall, building the wall along the Mexican border. Does anybody care? And I say, does anybody care? What I mean by that is there are people who are directly being affected by this, and there's a larger group that are indirectly being affected by this. And I'm going to say why. Because this all boils down to finances. Who's going to agree to pay for what? And in the meantime, the people who are suffering, for example, are 800,000 federal employees. Now, for example, now these people, when I say by suffering, is because you have 800,000 people who got caught in the battle that's taking place between the president and Congress, who have not gotten paid. Yesterday is Friday, today is Saturday. They did not get their paycheck. Now, a lot of people may not care, because it's not affecting them. This is not something that they should be worried about because, one, they're working, they're getting paid. It's not taking any food away from their mouths or the mouths of their families. Why should they worry? Why should you care, right? I think it should be a growing concern and people should care. Because the ramifications of this can run deep if this continues. If this shutdown continues, this will affect more than these 800,000 federal workers. They've already affected SNAP recipients. Okay? Again, anyone who's receiving entitlements due to disability by way of Social Security, disability checks, or income checks, do you think they're not going to be affected? I mean, the ramifications run deep, but people just simply, I don't think people care enough. But you know what rises to the level of the attention of the people? R. Kelly. Surviving R. Kelly is what matters more to people than having your loved ones who works for the federal government, who may have worked for the federal government, have missed their opportunity to pay their bills because they did not get a check. I'm not taking away from the severity of what R. Kelly has done and people like him. I'm not dismissing how victims have fallen prey to the likes of the R. Kellys and everyone else, right? But the same attention that media likes to lend to certain, celebrity and gossip and scandalous types of issues, talk about things that touch the people too, and give it as much more attention, if not, give it the same or much more attention than scandal, than gossip. Why is it that people want to talk about R. Kelly, the likes of people like that, and know that day by day, as the government and the president do not agree on coming to some type of agreement regarding this wall thing, the shutdown will continue. But because people don't feel the fire, they don't feel the fire right now. They don't see, they don't feel it. It's when pain is a motivator. When a person becomes hurt or begins to feel uncomfortable, that level of discomfort will force people to move, yay or either way. Left, right, because you don't want to feel pain anymore. So I guess the people don't feel it. They want to be reactive instead of proactive. I guess this is what matters to people more. Since it's not happening to them, hey, I don't care. Why should I care? But you should care, because this can have a domino effect. Crap rolls downhill. Okay? It could definitely impact more, have a greater impact more than we can even conceive. But this is how the people do not want to be accountable, in a sense. You want to live in a state of, possibly, I want to say fantasy and this dream state and believing that all is okay and good, instead of preparing yourself, empowering yourself with the information, with the tools. Just in case hard times come, you'll be able to deal with it. Because there's certain things, no one has a crystal ball who can really predict the future. But what we can do now, is be a little bit more prepared. If you see a storm is coming, if you know, if we're warned, I should say, that bad weather is coming, what do? We take cover in however shape or form, depending on the nature of the bad weather. We take cover. Now, if we see this thing with the shutdown happening, I mean, really, we're just going to ignore it and act as if just because it's not happening to us, we don't care? Come on, people, let me know what you think. This is about spreading awareness. This is about provoking thought and some form of action. To not fall victim in a situation where it could have been possibly prevented. Again, it's about being proactive, I believe, and not reactive. Automatically, problems are going to exist if federal workers continue not to get paid. Problems will happen if people who rely on Social Security Administration to pay them checks on a monthly basis, if that discontinues, problems will occur. You already know that if people who are expecting income tax refund checks cannot get those checks, or the checks will be delayed, problems will occur. If you understand that there are people who live off of entitlements by way of SNAP benefits, for example, problems will, and they don't get the SNAP benefits, problems will occur. And these things will only increase. God knows what else will be affected if you really take a good look at it, people. God knows what will be affected. Just be aware, be cognizant, so you won't fall victim in a storm with, in a torrential downpour, rainstorm, and not at least, if you can't run for shelter, at least have an umbrella. Peace.